Have you ever looked at a giant skyscraper and wondered how it was built? It wasn't just plopped down in one piece, was it? Of course not. It was built brick by brick. It was built beam by beam, piece by tiny piece. Well, consider this. You are like a skyscraper. You're a complex, amazing, you're walking, you're talking, you're thinking. And just like that skyscraper, you are built from tiny, fundamental building blocks. These building blocks are called cells. They are the bricks of you, the Lego pieces of life. Everything you are and everything you do, from blinking your eyes to dreaming at night, happens because of these incredible microscopic units working together. They are the very foundation of what it means to be alive. Think about it. Your heart pumps blood because heart cells are contracting in perfect rhythm. Your brain thinks thoughts because brain cells are firing off electrical signals to each other. Your muscles let you run because muscle cells are pulling and relaxing. Without cells, there would be no you. There would be no trees, no dogs, no fish, no anything that we consider living. They are the smallest unit of life, the starting point for all the wonderful complexity we see in the biological world. Understanding cells is like getting the secret instruction manual for how all living things work, from the smallest ant to the largest blue whale. So why should you care about something so small you can't even see it? Because understanding cells helps us understand ourselves. So what is a cell? Imagine a tiny, tiny bag, much smaller than a grain of sand. This bag isn't empty though. It's filled with a jelly-like substance. It's filled with all the machinery needed to carry out the business of living. A cell is the smallest, most basic unit of life that can perform all the processes necessary for survival. It can take in nutrients, convert those nutrients into energy, carry out specialized functions, make copies of itself. Some living things, like bacteria, are made of just one single cell. They are the ultimate minimalists. They live their whole lives as a solitary, self-sufficient unit. But for more complex organisms, like us humans, an oak tree, your pet dog, we are what's called multicellular. That means we are made of trillions of cells, all working together in a highly organized team. Think of it like a giant city. A single house can provide shelter for a family, but a whole city has houses, power plants, factories, communication systems that all work together to support a huge population. A single-celled organism is like that one house. A multicellular organism like you is the entire bustling, coordinated city. Each cell is a citizen with a specific job to do. If a cell is like a mini factory, then every factory needs a boss. It needs a main office where all the big decisions are made and where the blueprints for everything are kept. In most plant and animal cells, this main office is called the nucleus. The nucleus is a large, often spherical structure inside the cell that acts as the command and control center. It contains all the information the cell needs to grow to function and to reproduce. It tells the cell what to be, whether to become a skin cell, a nerve cell, or a muscle cell. It directs all of its day-to-day activities. Inside this control center, we find the most important instruction manual in the universe, DNA, which stands for deoxyribonucleic acid. Think of DNA as a giant, twisted ladder or a spiral staircase. This is the blueprint of life. It contains the genetic code, the specific instructions for building and operating the entire organism. Every single bit of information, from the color of your eyes to how tall you will grow, is written in this amazing chemical code. The nucleus carefully protects this precious DNA, keeping it safe from damage while still allowing it to be read when needed. So the nucleus is the brain of the cell. It holds the master plan for everything the cell will ever do. Every city needs power to keep the lights on and the machines running. In the city of the cell, the power plants are tiny, bean-shaped structures called mitochondria. These are the mighty powerhouses of the cell. Their job is to take the food we eat, like sugars and fats, and combine it with the oxygen we breathe. This is called cellular respiration, and it releases a huge amount of energy. But the cell can't just use this energy in its raw form. The mitochondria convert it into a special energy-carrying molecule called ATP, which stands for adenosine triphosphate. It's like the cell's rechargeable battery. Now, if mitochondria are the power plants, then ribosomes are the factories. These are incredibly small structures, much smaller than mitochondria, and their job is to build proteins. Proteins are the real workhorses of the cell. They are the machines, the messengers, and the structural components. Remember that RNA message that the nucleus sent out? The ribosomes are the ones who receive and read that message. They are like tiny 3D printers that follow the RNA instructions to assemble proteins piece by piece, linking together smaller molecules called amino acids in a specific order. Together, the mitochondria and ribosomes form the core of the cell's economy. One provides the power, and the other uses that power to build everything the cell needs. Every city needs borders. Every house needs walls and a door. In the world of the cell, this crucial boundary is the cell membrane. The cell membrane is a thin, flexible layer that wraps around the outside of the entire cell. You can think of it as the cell's skin, as a super smart gatekeeper. Its primary job is to separate the inside of the cell from the outside environment. This is incredibly important because the inside of the cell is a carefully controlled, finely tuned environment. The cell membrane makes sure that the good stuff stays in and the bad stuff stays out. But the cell membrane isn't just a simple wall. It's what we call selectively permeable. That's a fancy way of saying it's picky about what it lets in and out. Imagine a bouncer at a very exclusive club. The bouncer has a list and only lets certain people in while keeping others out. The cell membrane works in a similar way. It has special channels and doorways made of proteins embedded within it. These channels can open and close to allow specific things to pass through into the cell. Water, nutrients, ions. At the same time, it blocks unwanted substances from entering. This gatekeeper function is also vital for getting rid of waste. Furthermore, the cell membrane is also a communication hub. Now that we know the basic parts of a cell, let's look at two major types: plant cells and animal cells. Think of them as two different kinds of cities. They share many of the same features. Both have a control center, or nucleus, power plants called mitochondria, and factories known as ribosomes. They both have a gatekeeper, the cell membrane, controlling what comes in and goes out. These are the fundamental parts that both types of cells need to live. However, because plants and animals live very different lives, their cells have a few key differences. These extra features help each cell do its unique job. The first major difference you'd notice is on the outside. Plant cells have a thick, rigid outer layer outside of their cell membrane called the cell wall. This cell wall is made of a tough material called cellulose. Think of it as a strong brick wall or a suit of armor around the plant cell. This provides extra strength and structural support. This is why plants like trees and flowers can stand up straight and tall, defying gravity. Animal cells, on the other hand, do not have a cell wall. Their flexible cell membranes allow them to have a variety of shapes and to move around, which is essential for things like muscle cells that need to contract. Another huge difference is how they get their energy. Animals get energy by eating food. Plants, as we know, make their own food using sunlight. They do this through a process called photosynthesis, and it happens in special organelles called chloroplasts. A single cell is amazing, but the real magic happens when cells start working together. In complex, multicellular organisms like us, cells don't just float around randomly. They are organized into teams, much like players on a sports team who each have a specific position and role. A group of similar cells that work together to perform a specific job is called a tissue. You have 4 main types of tissues in your body, and each one is made of specialized cells that are perfectly suited for their task. The first type is epithelial tissue. Think of this as the body's covering and lining. The cells in this tissue are packed tightly together to form a protective barrier. Your skin is a perfect example of epithelial tissue. It protects your body from germs, injury, and dehydration. Epithelial tissue also lines the inside of your organs, like your stomach and intestines. These cells are experts at secretion and absorption. Next up is connective tissue. It connects, supports, and binds other tissues together. It's the stuffing of the body. Unlike epithelial cells, connective tissue cells are often scattered within a non-living material called a matrix. Bone is a type of connective tissue where the matrix is hard and calcified, providing a strong frame for the body. The final 2 main types are muscle tissue and nervous tissue. Muscle tissue is made of cells that are specialized for contraction. Nervous tissue is the body's communication network. We've seen how cells form tissues. Flowchart. Cells. tissues, organs, organ systems, organism. But the story of organization doesn't stop there. The next level up in this incredible biological construction project is the organ. An organ is a structure made of two or more different types of tissues that work together to perform a specific, complex function. Your heart is a fantastic example of an organ. It's not just one type of tissue. Muscle tissue pumps the blood, nervous tissue controls heart rate, epithelial tissue lines the chamber's connective tissue, holds it all together. All these tissues cooperate to achieve one main goal, pumping blood throughout your body. The organization gets even bigger. Different organs work together in teams called organ systems. Each system is responsible for a major function in the body. Digestive system example: stomach, esophagus, intestines, liver, pancreas. The circulatory system includes heart, arteries, veins. It transports oxygen and nutrients to all cells. The respiratory system includes lungs, airways. It brings in oxygen and removes carbon dioxide. And finally, all of these organ systems working together make up a complete functioning organism, you. So, there you have it. We've taken a whirlwind tour of the cell, the fundamental unit of life. We started with the idea that you are built from these tiny bricks, just like a skyscraper. We peeked inside to find the control freak nucleus with its DNA blueprints, the mighty mitochondria powerhouses, the busy ribosome factories. We saw how the cell membrane acts as a smart gatekeeper. Plant cells with a cell wall, plant cells with solar panel-like chloroplasts. We then zoomed out. Cells form tissues, cells form organs, cells form entire organ systems. All of them working together to make you, you. It's truly mind-boggling. Right now, trillions of microscopic cities are humming inside you. Your heart cells are beating, your nerve cells are firing, your skin cells are protecting you. It's a universe contained in your body. Every breath delivers oxygen to countless mitochondria. Every meal fuels these cellular engines. Understanding the cell is the first step to all biology. It's not just science, it's the science of us. You're not just one person. You're a cooperative of trillions of living, working cells. Here's the cool part. About 98% of the atoms in your body are replaced every year.